We seem to have some problems with the cameras, so that's why Vince and I and all of my things are huddled over here together in one corner. But before we actually start the Shabbat service, can somebody tell me what today is? Thank you, and here's a clue. You do indeed. Yeah, you want to blow? So it's traditional on Elul to blow the shofar every day of Elul. And of course, because we've got 1 month to prepare for the High Holy Days, 29 days, and because the shofar is a wake-up call. And it kind of... Yeah, well, it could be, whoever's blowing shofar for Rosh Hashanah gets a lot of practice, but it does act as a wake-up call and a reminder for us to get ready for Rosh Hashanah. And I do try to remember to get up, and if it's good weather, go out into the garden and terrify the neighbors. But it's quite interesting if you live somewhere where there are other Jews nearby, even if you don't know them. Many times you'll hear, "Oh, hello, what's that?" So we're going to blow.
Is it sunrise, sunset?
Well, it should be during the day. So I'm just trying to get it in before sunset now.
Just get in, Johnny.
Yes. We got a few minutes. So let's see if I can do this, having not done it much except for today. Nope. So that's our little reminder that it is Elul. And it's also, as somebody's already pointed out, the sun is rapidly sinking because sunset time has changed now. And so I've got a reading, which is one of my favorite things, and I think it fits with what we're talking about. It's called Praying the Sunset Prayer, and it's by Jacob Gladstone. I'll let you in on a secret about how one should pray the sunset prayer. It's a juicy bit of praying, like strolling on grass. Nobody is chasing you. Nobody hurries you. You walk toward your Creator with gifts in pure, empty hands. The words are golden. Their meaning is transparent. It's as though you're saying them for the first time. If you don't catch on, that you should feel a little elevated, you're not praying sunset prayer. The tune is sheer simplicity. You're just lending a helping hand to the sinking day. It's a heavy responsibility. You take a created day and you slip it into the archives of life where all our lived out days are lying together. The day is departing with a quiet kiss. It lies at your feet while you stand saying the blessings. You can't create anything yourself, but you can lead the day to its end and see clearly the smile of its going down. See how whole it all is? Not diminished for a second. How you age with the days that keep dawning. How you bring your lived out day as a gift to eternity. And we're going to continue with a song that's not in the Siddur. And it's called Teach Us to Treasure Each Day. And it was composed by a friend of mine, Rabbi Yitzchak Hankin.
And that phrase, treasure each day, will occur quite often. So we're hoping that you might, if you can't sing it along or say it along or think it in your mind, treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day.
Teach us to treasure each day.
That we may open our hearts to your wisdom.
Teach us to treasure each day.
That we may open our hearts to your wisdom.
Teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. So I'm going to ask someone to come and light Shabbat candles. Do I have a volunteer? Okay, yeah. Be very nice, Natalia.
That's my favourite part. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו אחד מפני שבת.
Amen. Thank you. We're on page 75 in the Siddur, at the bottom of the page. Let's read together. The Sabbath has descended to enfold us in its mantle of peace. It brings to us the precious gift of time to embrace family and friends, to reflect more deeply on the meaning and purpose of our lives, and to worship in the beauty of holiness. May our Sabbaths always be sanctuaries of love and devotion, bringing contentment to our hearts, happiness to our homes, and blessing to our people. And on page 76, we join together in Shalom Alechem.
Not a tune we use regularly, but we have used it before, and it goes on a bit, so you might find you can pick it up before we finish. Shalom Alechem,
Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. shalom, malchei elyon, melech malchei amlaim, kadosh baruch hu. Shalom aleichem, malchei hasharem, malchei elyon, melech malchei amlaim, kadosh baruch hu.
Then should we please, Neil, manage to start and finish this last week with tune that you helped me with.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Got through from start and finish with no false starts. Yeah.
I hope people will join in when I say please read responsively, because as you may have noticed, I don't have a lot of voice tonight. I seem to be allergic to everything. Every day it's something new. Natalia and I went out Tuesday night, and by the time I got home on the train with the open windows, I was just gone. And I had a couple of bouts like that last week, and then we were down in Brighton last night. And I thought, why am I sneezing? I usually don't sneeze in here. And then I looked up on the stage, and sure enough, there were a whole load of lilies. And I could hardly stop everything and say, get rid of those lilies. So we're on page 88, so please do read 88. Yeah. Please read responsively with me. There are days when we seek material things and measure failure by what we do not own.
On the Sabbath we wish not to acquire bloodshed.
There are days when we exploit nature with reckless greed.
On the Sabbath we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we think only of ourselves.
On the Sabbath we open our hearts to the needs and rights of others.
And we continue with a bit of Psalm 92. Shir Yom HaShabbat Tov Lahadot L'Adonai V'Zamer L'Shimcha Elyon Mer L'Shimcha Elyon Zmor Shir Yom HaShabbat Tov Lahadot L'Adonai V'Zamer L'Shimcha Elyon Mer L'Shimcha Elyon Ki Baboker V'Aztecha And we're going to continue on page 91 with Lechadodi. Likrat, kala, pene Shabbat, lekavela, lecha, lechadodi, likrat, kala, pene Shabbat, lekavela. Shmor v'zachor v'diborecha, ishmi'ar v'ter ha'miuchad, Adonai echad, v'shemo echad, Shemel Tiferet Velitila Hadodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Hadodi Likrat Kala Shabbat Lechu B'nelcha Kim Thank you. B'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitori, ki ha'ore ku'iri, ri'uri, shildari. Avoda Adonai Nigla Hadodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Hadodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Viva Shalom Teret Bala Kam B'Simcha B'Tzocha Tachemune Amsekula Boichala L'chalachadodi B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'chalachadodi Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Before we continue with the Baruch Hu, I'd like to welcome whoever is out there, if you've got some names that you can read. Okay, well, welcome to all of you and to everyone who has not commented, so we don't actually know you're there. And if you're watching on any of the other places besides Facebook, we welcome you here. Page 92, we rise for the Baruch Hu. La 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 la. La 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 la. We can resume our seats. The first of the two prayers that follows on from the Baruch Hu is really about thanking God for the cycle of life, the cycle of day and night, the cycle of the seasons. And one of my favorite ways of using this prayer is the song, Rolling Tonight. And we've used it here several times, so hopefully some of you remember it. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rehoshech, oseh shalom, ve'et hakol, roll into light, night becomes day, day becomes night, roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day becomes night, becomes day, day becomes night. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. And we continue with Ahavat Olam. Beit Yisrael, Amecha, There's a little prelude to the Shema that I think it's really appropriate for Elul and some of the things that I've already mentioned that I'm going to be talking about later. Just kind of prepare us for the Shema.
It's called Open Up Our Eyes. It used to be used regularly by the LJ Friday night services for till the 1830s.
The tent.
But that's gone one away. But I like it.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in truth as we lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we shall know that you are one. Please rise. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. kevod malchuto. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto. Leolam vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi me'tzvavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shirantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha, v'vitecha, v'vlechtecha v'derech, v'shochvecha, v'kumecha, v'kshatam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu le'totafod v'eninecha, v'ktavtam al mezuzot v'techa, v'visherecha. Asitem et kol mitzvotai, item kedoshim lechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem eretz Mitzrayim, v'yod lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We can resume our seats. All this we hold to be true and sure. Let's read this together. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name, gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together. And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom L'shalom Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Haporech Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. And on to page 97, we come to the tefillah. Please rise if you are able. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid ilatecha. Turn, O God, to open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot V'Imachot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Chozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'Chayei Meitim Atah, Rav L'Hoshia, Mashiv Haruach, U'Morid HaGeshem, Masriach HaShemesh, U'Morid Hat. Sobrach Nofli Fecholim Umatir Asurim Echayeh Unaton Ishenei Afar Ichamocha Al-Kedorot Uvitom Melach V'mi Tumachayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua B'nei Amanata L'chayot Metim L'chayot Metim Baruch atah Adonai M'chayei HaMetim Kadosh atah u'nora shemecha v'en lanu Eloach mibaladecha Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. And we continue in the middle of page 99 with Vishamru. Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Asa Adonai Shamayim Et Haaretz Uyom Hashir Shabbat Shabbat Yidafash. This next section of the Amidah is thanking God for the holiness of Shabbat. And Shabbat is often an island of peace, and it should be that, but also Shabbat, along with many of our observances, is there to remind us how we should live in the world. And so I think especially for Elul, that's true. So I'm substituting an alternative version of that from Mishkan Tefillah, the American Reform Siddur. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusion of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet, sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred into action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. And on page 101, we continue with Ritzei. 100, 100. Say Adonai Eloheinu Amecha Yisrael Utevi Bodhi Benachnalach, we give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you are the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due. Take a few moments now for our own silent prayers and meditations. May the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Say shalom b'broma, Yaseh shalom aleinu, O Israel, Al kol Amen. Elul is traditionally a time of introspection and personal stock-taking. It's known which is known in Hebrew as cheshbon hanefesh, literally an accounting of the soul. This process is conducted in preparation for Rosh Hashanah, when Jewish tradition teaches we are called to account for our actions and where we are with our lives and decide if that is where we want to be. We have time to review and change our lives during this month, and even a bit of time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Though we may not feel quite the same about potential judgment as our ancestors seemingly once did, still, we can see the value for us in this process. The customs associated with Elul are all intended to help cultivate the proper mindset for this preparation. Even the natural world seems to remind us that this is a time of transition. The days grow shorter, as we've noticed. Sunset is ever earlier. The trees will shortly begin to change color, which seems a pity since we've only just had summer, like 2 days. But I know autumn is coming because autumn fruits are ripening, and our fig tree is blessing us with an awful lot of figs, which is nice. But it's that reminder that things are moving on. The season is changing, and it's a time for us to change too. We think of the past year and of those things that have distracted us from the life we really want to live, and that we know we should live, and indeed could live. We talk of teshuvah, of turning or returning, and indeed sometimes of going home to the values that once grounded our lives. Rabbi Jan Orbach suggests that teshuvah is a kind of creativity, not just a simple return. A return toward, a return forward, a return to something that never was, a new creation. We return to who we have always been and who we are meant to be, but somehow have not yet become. There is growth and possibility within each of us, but these have lain dormant and have not yet flourished, and may have not yet flourished. Our challenge over the next 29 days before Rosh Hashanah is to find what has become buried in the stress of our lives and the sometimes misplaced pursuit of that which we think we want, but which turns out not to be as fulfilling as we hoped, bringing only fleeting pleasure rather than lasting joy. Or indeed, at times, it may even bring us misery. Some of you may know the movie, The Greatest Showman, the story of P.T. Barnum. Everybody know that? Okay, we got a few people who do. Good. Barnum, orphaned, penniless, but ambitious, and with a mind crammed with imagination and fresh ideas. He's remembered as the man with the gift to blur the line between reality and fiction. Thirsty for innovation and hungry for success, he manages to open a wax museum. However, he soon shifts focus to the unique and the peculiar, introducing extraordinary, never seen before live acts onto the circus stage. Now, some people call Barnum's rich collection of oddities an outright freak show. But when Barnum, obsessed with fame and respectability, gambles everything on the opera singer Jenny Lind to appeal to a highbrow audience, he loses sight of the most crucial aspect of his life and the things most dear, his family, and those others whose lives have made his show what it is, and who in fact depend on him for their livelihood and survival. He loses his way in his desire for fame and fortune, and nearly loses everything when a devastating fire consumes the theater and nearly kills his friends. One of the songs from the show, From Now On, expresses his awakening to what he has mistakenly valued in his life and his determination to return to his core values. I often hear this song sung when I go out at night, and especially by the wonderful Caravan Park, not only one of my favorite cabaret performers, but also a very, very dear friend. This has become one of his favorite songs. It's the one he closed the cabaret tent at Pride with, and the Legends fundraiser at Pride with. And it's actually not always sung that often, because there are other songs. There are a lot of great songs from The Greatest Showman. And this one's not always sung that much, but somehow it always inspires me to keep thinking about what and who I most value. And I think it has an excellent message for Elul, And so Vince is now going to play and sing it with a bit of his own arrangement, because otherwise we'd be here for another 5 minutes if we use the
Just go on.
original.
There's two key phrases in the song. The first, its title, which appears again and again, from now on. So that's a sort of New Year's resolution aspect of the High Holy Days. And the other repeated phrase is, we will come back home, which sounds a bit like the Teshuvah aspect of this period of preparing for the...
And I think also the idea that it starts tonight.
Yep.
It starts tonight.
And I know you haven't heard it in the synagogue before, but if you would accept tonight's singing challenge, which is get used to the idea that this phrase, we will come back home, is going to crop up again and again and again, and try to sing it with me. In the film, it goes on for a good 10 minutes. Tonight, it goes on as long as it takes till most of you are singing it.
Challenge accepted.
From now on, our eyes will not be blinded by the light. From now on, what is waiting for tomorrow starts
Tonight.
It's
Tonight.
Let this promise fire start as an anthem in our heart. From now on, from now on, we will come back home. And we will come back home, we will come back home again. We will come back home, we will come back home again. Let this promise fire start as an anthem in our heart. From now on, from now on, and we will come back home, we will come back home again. And we will come back home, we will come back home again. Anybody singing yet?
Ty and Robin. And we've got to cut. Yep. We'll come back home. We'll come back home again. So may that be our phrase. It's going to be mine every time I hear that song, and I'm probably going to hear it once a week. But I hear it a lot in my head, and I think, yeah, we've got 29 days to work on this. Let's have a go, you know. And we turn now to page 213 for "And Then," and we're going to read that together. So this is our hope for the future, for that world that we're going to build. Yeah, we are, together. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and this softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle, and then both men and women will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another person's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many, and then all will share equally in the earth's abundance, and then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old, and then all will nourish the young. and then all will cherish life's creatures, and then all will live in harmony with each other and earth, and that everywhere will be called Eden once again. And I'm going to continue now with Kaddish. As soon as I go over there and get the Kaddish sheet, Vince is going to kindly get it for me. Just when you get everything laid out. And the growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been, is half owing to the number who lived faithfully in life and rest in unvisited tombs. Even when they are gone, the departed are with us. They inspire us to live, as in their higher moments they themselves sought to live. We remember them now. They remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing. And this Shabbat, we don't seem to have any names. There are no names. Does anyone here have any names they'd like to add?
Some names in the, is there not some names in
No, we can certainly remember Myra Halfin, who recently died and whose funeral will be on Tuesday. For all of those whose names we hold in our hearts, and perhaps especially as we think about those that we used to share High Holy Days with and share this penitential period that begins really tonight, in fact, actually last night. So we think of all of those and all those for whom there is no one left to say Kaddish as we say together. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'alma Devrach Herotei, V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon, V'yomechon, Uv'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav Isman Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam Olam Me'omaya. Yit Barach, V'yishtabach, V'yit Pa'ar, V'yit Romam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Halei, V'yit Halal, Shmei Dekudisha, Richu. Le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tishbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shalom Rabbi min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Israel, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Israel, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru, Amen. Are there any announcements that anyone has? We can resume our seats. Garden party on Sunday. Robin is taking the service tomorrow morning, so I hope everyone's going to come out and support Robin.
We have December 10th at 5:15. We have a booking so far 10 people at Glow Grizzly, so we can celebrate the festival next year. If anybody's interested, please email me. And the open house, 10th of September. Yes,
Coming up, yeah, it's Sunday, isn't it? No, it's several Sundays away.
Remember this Shabbat's on the 1st of September, Friday the 1st of September.
Okay. Right, well, that's a lot of things coming up. So remember them all and read your bulletins because everything's in there. We're going to conclude with Biado, which is basically the last verse of Adon Olam, so you can find it, page 525, the last verse.
My soul I give to you. My spirit in your hand. Holy near I shall not fear. Holy in your hand. Come ye near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand.
And we rise for concluding benediction. May the one who supported our ancestors on all of their journeys support us as we journey now towards the high holy days. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat shalom. Thank you.